Do you believe that in a city where dazzling lights illuminate every corner, there are still forgotten figures? Talented and passionate individuals, yet invisible amidst the glitz and power? The story of Ethan Carter will give you the answer. Join me as we unveil the secrets of an unequal battle, where the underdog dares to stand up and reclaim justice for himself. New York City, a bustling Friday night. The clinking of glasses, the lively chatter of conversations, and above all, the intoxicating aroma emanating from the renowned restaurant La Rochelle. Inside the magnificent kitchen, where sapphire flames danced beneath the pots, Ethan Carter worked tirelessly. His hands moved swiftly and skillfully, like an artist creating an edible masterpiece. The scent of truffle mingled with the rich, buttery aroma of foie gras, complemented by the fresh crispness of microgreens, all harmonizing into a symphony of flavors. Yet, within this luxurious setting, Ethan was merely a shadow. He stood tucked away behind the senior chefs, silently completing the tasks assigned to him. His gaze occasionally flickered towards Victor Langley, the powerful head chef of La Rochelle, who commanded everything with an air of authority. Victor, with his towering chef's hat and sharp eyes, always regarded Ethan with undisguised disdain. "Carter," Victor's voice boomed, cutting through Ethan's thoughts. "Your soup tonight is as bland as dishwater. Do you have any idea how many patrons are willing to pay a fortune to experience La Rochelle's cuisine? Don't disappoint them." Ethan lowered his head, his voice barely a whisper. "I apologize, chef," Victor sneered, turning to the other chefs and scoffing. "Apologize? Will apologizing make the soup taste better? You should remember, Carter, your humble beginnings in the Bronx don't belong in this kitchen. I keep you around only because you work hard, but talent." "Well," he trailed off, his eyes filled with implication. Ethan gritted his teeth, trying to suppress his rising anger. He knew Victor constantly sought opportunities to belittle him, but he wouldn't give up. Deep within Ethan's heart burned a fierce passion for culinary arts. He dreamed of a day when he could freely create, when the world would recognize his true talent. That opportunity seemed to have arrived when MasterChef Global, the most prestigious culinary competition in the United States, announced its qualifying rounds in New York City. Ethan had meticulously prepared numerous unique dishes, ready to prove himself. He eagerly approached Victor to register for the competition as La Rochelle's representative. "I would like to participate in MasterChef Global," Ethan said, his voice filled with hope. Victor looked up, regarding Ethan as if he had just said something utterly ridiculous. "You? MasterChef Global? Are you mistaken, Carter? That's a stage for top chefs, not for nobodies like you. But I believe in my abilities. I've prepared many dishes." "Don't waste your time," Victor coldly interrupted. "The restaurant's list of chefs has already been submitted. And of course, your name isn't on it." Disappointment washed over Ethan. He knew Victor was deliberately shutting him out, but this time he refused to be buried. With his meager savings, Ethan registered for the competition as an individual contestant. On the day of the qualifying rounds, Ethan stood amidst a sea of renowned chefs, individuals sought after by the media and backed by famous restaurants. He felt lost and insignificant. The judging panel, comprised of top culinary experts, barely glanced at him. Ethan knew the road ahead would be incredibly challenging. He had to fight not only against talented opponents but also against the prejudice and indifference of those in power. Just as the door to opportunity seemed to swing wide open, a dark and treacherous hand suddenly emerged, pushing Ethan down into the abyss of despair. In the semifinals of MasterChef Global, Ethan had proven his mettle. The dishes he created were not only visually stunning, but also possessed a unique and captivating flavor, winning over the most discerning palates of the judges. Step by step, he advanced deeper into the competition, causing Victor Langley no small amount of unease. The arrogant head chef could not believe that the man he had always looked down upon was progressing so far. One morning, as Ethan was preparing for the next round of the competition, he was stunned to see his picture and name plastered across the front page of a sleazy tabloid newspaper. The sensational headline screamed, "Nightmare in the Kitchen. MasterChef contestant arrested for theft in the past." The article recounted an old story, a misunderstanding from his teenage years when Ethan had tried to help a friend in need. Although the matter had been resolved amicably long ago, Victor had deliberately dredged it up and sensationalized it, turning Ethan into a criminal in the eyes of the public. Ethan's hands trembled as he held the newspaper. The words on the page felt like daggers piercing his heart. He remembered that terrible day, when all he wanted was to help a friend, only to be misunderstood and almost end up in jail. For years, he had tried to bury this painful memory, and now it was being exposed in the most humiliating way possible. Ethan's phone rang incessantly. Calls flooded in from friends, family, and even strangers, all buzzing with gossip about the news in the paper. He felt as if the entire world was turning its back on him. The organizers of MasterChef Global also swiftly took action. Under the intense pressure of public opinion, they were forced to make the decision to disqualify Ethan from the competition. The announcement was posted on the official program website, brief and cold as a death sentence. Contestant Ethan Carter has been disqualified from MasterChef Global due to a violation of the ethical code. Ethan sank to the floor of his apartment, utterly defeated. All his efforts, all his hopes, had vanished into thin air because of a fabricated accusation. His reputation was ruined, and the career he had always dreamed of had slammed shut before his eyes. In his despair, Ethan remembered someone. Chef Gordon Haynes, a retired culinary legend, who had once been his idol. Ethan knew that Gordon harbored a deep resentment towards Victor Langley. Many years ago, Victor had brazenly stolen Gordon's signature dish recipe and used it to catapult himself to fame. Gordon had tried to expose Victor's deceit, but he had failed. His own career had also suffered significantly after the incident. With a sliver of hope, Ethan sought out Gordon. He lived in seclusion on a quiet farm on the outskirts of the city. When Ethan recounted his story to Gordon, the legendary chef's eyes filled with empathy and a flicker of righteous anger. "I've been through something similar," Gordon said, his voice deep and gravelly. "Victor Langley is a deceitful and malicious man. He will stop at nothing to achieve his goals." "What should I do, chef?" Ethan asked, his voice choked with emotion. "I've lost everything." Gordon looked at Ethan, his gaze unwavering. "No, you haven't lost everything. You still have your talent, and that's something no one can ever take away from you. I will help you." From the ashes of disappointment, a faint flame of hope flickered, fanned into a blaze by the guidance of a mentor. Gordon Haynes was not only a talented chef but also a dedicated teacher. He recognized the burning passion that still resided within Ethan's heart, despite the hardships he had endured. Gordon decided to impart his invaluable knowledge and experience to Ethan, preparing him for one final battle. Every day, Ethan traveled to Gordon's farm and practiced cooking. Gordon didn't just teach him advanced culinary techniques. He also shared his philosophies on food and life. He taught Ethan how to control his emotions, how to cope with pressure, and most importantly, how to believe in himself. Cooking is more than just preparing food, Gordon said one quiet afternoon. It's about creativity, passion, and a way for people to connect. Don't let the wicked extinguish the fire within you. Gordon also helped Ethan devise a daring plan. Together, they filmed an independent cooking video. In the video, Ethan recreated a classic dish with a completely new twist. What made it significant was that this was the very dish that had made Victor Langley famous, but the recipe was actually Gordon's creation, stolen by Victor years ago. In the video, Ethan made no mention of Victor or the recent scandal. He focused solely on showcasing his talent and passion. The meticulous and skillful way he prepared the dish, along with his heartfelt words about his love for food, garnered millions of views on social media. Ethan's video went viral at an astonishing speed. The culinary world buzzed with discussions about the young chef's talent. Many people recognized the striking similarity between Ethan's dish and Victor Langley's signature creation. Suspicions about Victor's dishonesty began to surface. The mounting public pressure forced the organizers of MasterChef Global to re-examine Ethan's case. Millions of fans had voiced their support for him, demanding that the organizers give him a second chance. Finally, after numerous tense meetings, the organizers of MasterChef Global made a surprising decision. They offered Ethan Carter a special invitation to the final round. This announcement sent shockwaves through the culinary world. Everyone was eager to witness the showdown between Ethan and Victor in the ultimate battle. The fateful night of the grand finale had arrived. The bright stage lights illuminated the two men standing opposite each other, one a figure of arrogance with a tarnished reputation, and the other a young man carrying within him a burning desire for justice. The final round of MasterChef Global unfolded in an atmosphere of palpable tension. Ethan Carter stood face to face with Victor Langley. The entire auditorium fell silent, awaiting the culinary showdown between the two talented chefs. Victor strode onto the stage with his usual air of self-assurance. He offered a condescending smirk as he caught sight of Ethan. "Welcome back, kid. I thought you'd crawled back into whatever hole you came from after that little scandal." Ethan didn't respond, his gaze fixed and determined as he looked towards the judging panel. He knew this was his last chance to prove himself and reclaim his honor. As the clock started, both chefs plunged into their work with intense focus. Victor stuck to his familiar style, showcasing intricate techniques and expensive ingredients. Meanwhile, Ethan adopted a different approach. He concentrated on the subtlety and flavor of his dish. When it was time for the presentations, Victor unveiled an elaborate creation, adorned like a lavish painting. He confidently described his dish, casting a triumphant glance at Ethan. Then it was Ethan's turn. He presented a dish that appeared deceptively simple, yet it exuded an incredibly alluring aroma. As the judges tasted it, they were visibly taken aback. The flavor was familiar yet executed with flawless precision and exquisite detail. One of the judges, a world-renowned culinary expert, spoke up, her voice filled with surprise. This is the original recipe for Symphony of the Sea that Chef Gordon Haynes created, isn't it?" Victor's face paled, and he stammered, trying to defend himself. No, it's not. This is my own exclusive recipe." But the judge didn't let him off the hook. "We've seen Mr. Carter's video. The way he prepared this dish perfectly matches what Chef Haynes has shared in the past. And more importantly, the taste. It evokes memories of the golden days of the Golden Spoon restaurant, when Chef Haynes was the head chef. The judge's words struck Victor like a physical blow. His face turned ashen. His weak attempts at justification couldn't mask the truth any longer. The judging panel had thoroughly reviewed Ethan's video and compared it to records of Gordon Haynes' past dishes. The evidence was irrefutable. Victor Langley had stolen Gordon's recipe and lied about it for years. With a stern expression, the head judge announced, "We have reached a decision. We are stripping Victor Langley of his title as a distinguished chef. He is disqualified from this competition and banned from participating in any culinary events in the future." The auditorium erupted in thunderous applause. Justice had finally been served. Ethan Carter had not only won the competition, but had also exposed the true colors of a fraud. Immediately after the announcement, Gordon Haynes walked onto the stage and embraced Ethan warmly. He was immensely proud of his protégé. A prominent investor in the culinary industry also approached Ethan with an offer to partner with him to open his own restaurant. The story of Ethan Carter teaches us that in this life, fairness is not always readily available. There will be those in power who try to oppress and exploit us. But the important thing is to never give up on our dreams and our belief in ourselves. Talent and perseverance will be the most potent weapons in overcoming any obstacle and creating our own justice. As the saying goes, the road is not difficult because of rivers and mountains, but because of the human heart's hesitation. As long as we have enough will and determination, no mountain is insurmountable. If you enjoyed this story and want to discover more inspiring tales, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more captivating videos coming soon. Thank you and see you next time.